What's up, everybody? Aaron the Dog here for breakdown 2 of 2 for this late edition of the UFC betting breakdown show on Coffee and KOs with Aaron the Dog and Pooh Bear, as always. And we will be joined by our special guest later, Jimmy the Brick Flick. He's putting in that overtime as always. So we decided to get this show on the road. But how you doing, Pooh Bear?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Happy to be back. Happy to be talking about some more fights, ready to watch some more fights. You know what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely ready to go. LFA breakdown with MMA Wagers is up now. 32 minutes of him and I talking about the LFA for tomorrow. Headlined by Spike Carlisle. So Spike Carlisle coming back at 155. We're both excited for it, and I think it's pretty good value on Spike, if I'm being honest.
Is he an underdog?
He's a slight favorite, but it's in LFA. If you can get a slight favorite, it's a rarity.
Yeah,
so we'll take it. What up, Zach? In the comments, joining us late night here. I got and we're always gonna kill it. Don't worry. And I
got the monster ready to rock and roll.
I got the water. I got an early flight tomorrow morning, so I'm trying not to get too amped up, but. Let's do this, Dave, in the comments here. No love for me because I don't beat people's asses, but whatever. Good to see you too, David.
Man, Dave.
And there's my pity bag. Let's go. Attention is attention. Thank you, everybody, for joining us late here. Justin, we'll be back to 8 o'clock. Not next week because there's no UFC next week.
So no UFC next week? What in the world?
Apparently not. I just found that out.
What are you doing? Come on, man.
But there is the beginning of the Bellator. Of course. Why are we asking stupid ass questions here, man? I would be offended bringing this up, but Zach wants to know: are you part of the crew?
Dude, I am so a part of the crew that I don't know what it's like to not be a part of the crew anymore. I'm just I doing my free time to watch fights now. You know what I mean? He
bothered me to keep coming on. I didn't have to come to him after the first one. He got a little haste. And he's like,
you got any more of those breakdown shows I can be part of? You know what I mean? I couldn't help myself.
And it is Savage Week, of course. Happy Savage Week to everybody. We don't want to celebrate before they get in the ring or octagon since what happened last time, but hopefully everything's on point there. We got, I've been listening to a little bit of chatter this week, not much, but a little bit, and there's been kind of a negative tone this week with overall the card because of the news we found out last Saturday with Volkanovski and Ortega being put off until the summer. We've got a huge summer fight, and honestly, this is obviously about the Savage this week for me personally and for a lot of Fight Bananas and other families. We get it, but a heavyweight title fight deserves all of the attention and shine, especially one like this.
Especially this one.
It's a little bit of poetic justice on a personal level for me by seeing Jillian get onto the main card where she belongs, in my opinion, as the UFC women's finishing record holder currently with 5 finishes. And it's just, this is a long time coming for her. So I'm glad on that, but also on just a more larger perspective, straight up, Francis and Stipe deserve all the shine here. And as do Volkanovski and Ortega when they fight. So I get it. We love these super stuffed cards. We got one next month in Jacksonville. I'm going to be at live. So stay tuned for coverage from that. Hopefully get some vlog action going there. But, it's just one of these things where, and Zach's just covering it was a good compliment, not a bad compliment. That's good. We like it wasn't a bad compliment. Just busting your balls, man. I gotta keep it fresh here. But anyways, enough about me rambling about the card. We're here to make a little breakdown and betting, and we'll see, when Our boy Jimmy joins us as well. And my thoughts on Jillian, of course, Zach and Coffee and KO's Crew is a Miranda Maverick podcast. So, we're not going to be highlighting any more of those comments for the rest of the night. But that's okay. I respect differences and everything like that. We still got 11 fights on this card.
Miranda's got to have someone cheering on.
Miranda's got to have someone.
She's got to have someone cheering her on.
Don't worry, they got this whole hype train that's cheering her on too for being Liliana Jojua. I didn't realize. Anyways, let's wait. We'll talk about that more when we get to that fight. There's like 7 fights before that. We start on a fight that I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on because I'm not a big fan of this fight, if I'm being honest. It's at 185 middleweight division, your division. So you're seeing these are your peers here.
I'm paying extra close attention to these guys.
I'm just saying we got a 35-year-old who has not fought since 2018. In which he fought a guy who fought on the Ultimate Fighter at heavyweight, and Victor Miranda, who I believe at the time of the fight was 39 years old. And Vitor Miranda, I apologize, Muay Thai specialist who was able to reverse Abu Azaitar several times on the ground, get top position several times. And this is a Muay Thai specialist in Vitor Miranda. But overall, Abu Azaitar, brother to Ottman Azaitar, fights nothing like Ottman. Let's get that out of the way right away. He does not possess the same KO power as his brother, at least in quite a while. Back in 2015 was his last KO. He's been pretty infrequent. He's not the most impressive physically, but pretty much he can be most of the time in the right place, right time. Just, he can edge out a decision for sure in this fight. Marc-Andre Barriault is 1-3, I'll say. The last one got overturned, I believe, for a tainted supplement, but he did look much better in that, but it was against Oscar Piota. But he got like an 8-month suspension, so I think it was pre-confirmed that it was not a John Jones type of incident, but actually a legit tainted supplement. But before the UFC, Marc-Andre Barriault appeared to have real good knockout power. Then he got to UFC, and he didn't look very good against Andrew Sanchez. He had a pretty boring fight against Jocko where neither guy really did much. And then Jun Young Park got decision. All three of those guys are much better than Abu Azaitar. Much better. So this, to me, is one where I'm not going to be betting a lot on either side, but I'm going to take Marc-Andre Barriault. I just think that he should have the power advantage, the size advantage, and the rhythm advantage. He fights much more regularly, has been fighting more relevant competition, losing to that competition, but still in his last fight, he finally let his power go a little bit more, and it definitely cashed in. So I'm going to take Andre Barriault, but this is one where if I'm wrong, I'm not losing too much sleep because it's just this is about as low level as it gets for the middleweight division.
Oh yeah, man. No, just piggyback what you said. Like, Abu won his fight against Miranda, but Miranda literally, like, on the feet, I think you can count on, like, both your hands how many strikes he threw. And then even grappling, like, he would just blow positions. I was like, man, dude, how did you get swept like that so easily? But and then, our boy, his last name, I'm just calling him Mark. Can I just call him Mark?
Yeah, Marc-Andre Barriault. Marc-Andre Barriault. Power Bar is his nickname.
I like that. That's a nice nickname. But, it's I think, he took his L's. And then going into his last fight, he said he was a new beast. Maybe his tainted supplement helped out with that a little bit. But, it's like you said, I think he's starting to find his groove in the UFC, and I think he's going to bully Abu around. I really do. I think he's going to just walk him down and take it to him. I think he's going to get a knockout in this fight.
Yeah, I think a knockout or a decision are definitely within line. Abu, to me, just doesn't quite look like a legit 185er. He really looks like Warley Alves, so he should be 170. Like, he looks just And so I just think this is a case where it's Marc-Andre had to win over Adam Hunter to get into the UFC. Adam Hunter's a legit middleweight Canadian prospect. I believe since then he's done pretty well. Well, actually, since then he has not fought, so that's actually very interesting. But either way, going into that fight, he was a legit prospect. But yeah, I mean, this is one that again I kind of said my piece on. I think that bet it lightly either way. It's -125 or -120 for Marc-Andre, -105 for Abu. So it's really basically a pick 'em. You got slight favorite money, but either way, there's a reason the odds are close. It's probably going to be a real close, not too impressive decision. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next fight here. This is at 145. We've got Omar Morales versus Shane Young. Super fun fight here. Really, not touching the ground. Unless somebody goes down. Unless someone gets dropped, which I do think I'm leaning one way if that stoppage is coming, and it would be Omar Morales. Omar Morales has a ton of firepower. He had fought up at 155 for a lot of his career, including his win over Gabriel Benitez. He came down to 145 against Giga Chikazian, who we've seen how good Giga is now.
The karate master.
Giga tooled him up, man. He just was so much faster than him, and I just don't think Shane Young quite has that acumen of kickboxing, that acumen of distance control or speed. So Shane Young, he's a really exciting guy out of New Zealand, city kickboxing guy. So, he's been getting ready with the rest of his team. We've seen mixed results from city kickboxing lately. Most of the mixed results have come from a guy who can mix it up. However, Omar Morales can't really mix it up. So we've got a power guy versus a complete technician guy. I've been pretty back and forth on this fight. I think that I'm betting Shane Young's able to avoid the power in this fight, which he did terribly in his last fight against Luke Baker.
Very badly.
He walked into every strike. It was unreal. And that was really that was from a guy who went the full 3 rounds with Volkanovski and had a very competitive fight with Volkanovski. So I just think sometimes you just don't show up to the office. That's what happened here with Shane Young. If that fight didn't happen with Klein and we had Shane Young versus Omar Morales, Shane Young's the favorite. Now, because of that fight, because of that performance by Klein on short notice by a guy who missed weight also in Klein, but still, that only really affected the velocity of the shots. Probably didn't. Klein schooled him regardless. That was so. But I think that's I like Shane Young at dog money here. I think he's going to be the more technical guy. He's maybe not as good with the movement, but I think speed-wise, he's similar to Giga. I think footwork-wise, he's miles ahead of Morales. And I think that Morales doesn't do a lot of favors cutting so much weight to get to 145. I think that we're going to see if it goes better in this fight, but I do think that was part of what was slowing him down, actually. He just looks so much slower fighting guys who are 10 pounds lighter than what he was used to. But I'm going to go for the upset here. I'm going to go Shane Young. I've been back and forth on this one. I'm back and forth on a ton of these fights tonight. This is a really hard card.
I'm happy to hear you say that, because this was definitely either the toughest or the second toughest. I mean, and
that's part of probably the lack of hype from a lot of the hardcore community who bets on this, is that there aren't those 3 or 4 cushy. I mean, last week I was back home and I gave my buddy a 4-fight parlay ending with Derek Brunson. I said, take it. Nail it. And sure enough, it's like the first time my buddy asked for, and like, I wouldn't be offering that this week.
You were on fire last week, though.
I was on fire last week.
It was a great week for you last week, my friend.
It was one of the most enjoyable. It's always funny when you do well betting on a card that people didn't bet well on or didn't bet on, and they're just like, man, that was boring. I was like, I had the time of my life. Every single fight, I just was like, oh, another one.
DJ Khaled.
Keenan Song, I'm coming for your ass because you ruined my perfect card. Keenan Song ruined my perfect card. All I had to do was go with Max Payne Griffin. I had my 3rd perfect card in just over 2 years. So that's not bad. But yeah, your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think Shane Young, if he gets out of the first round, I think he's a tough guy. He's been around the game for a long time. Um, but I mean, like you said, this guy, he hits hard, but I mean, he hit Giga. I mean, he got scored by Giga, but he landed some shots on Giga, and
Mhm.
Giga kind of ate him. You know what I mean? He's a big, strong looking guy. Um, and yeah, man, it's a tough one. It's like my heart wants me to pick Shane Young. Like I want to pick Shane Young, because I identify with him more, having more of you know what? Screw him. He's more jacked than me too. But um, but I think I'm gonna go with Oscar Martinez. I'm gonna go with him by finish, just
Omar
because
Morales, you
I
mean?
said Oscar Martinez. Yes, Omar
Oh,
Morales.
yeah, don't be
Yes.
racist.
Omar Morales by finish.
Oscar Martinez. Oscar Myers
What's
Wiener.
the next fight?
The odds before we move on from this
Yeah.
problematic. You got the favorite here, so I
Yeah.
feel like it's a rarity when we disagree that I get the underdog. You got the minus 190 favorite in Morales. I got the plus 165 underdog in Shane Young. I'm perfectly fine with that. I do think that if this is finished, Omar Morales is the one finishing it. I don't think Shane Young gets a finish, but I do think he can get off 2 or 3 shots to Omar Morales' one. Omar just really was loading up a lot against Giga, and I wasn't crazy about what I was seeing there. He got
Giga
very
was
predictable
so
and he got
fast.
tired. Yeah.
He was so fast in that fight, though, man.
Yeah, he was really fast, but also it might have just been comparison to a slow
That's
Morales.
fair. That's fair.
So
Fair.
we'll see. But it's on the feet, and city kickboxing usually has luck when it's not a mixed martial arts bout. If it's a kickboxing bout, they usually come out on top. So next fight, light heavyweight. And have we agreed on Mark Andre? We both had Mark Andre, and then we disagreed.
Yeah.
All right, we got 205 light heavyweight between Modestus Bukauskas and Michel Olejchek. I call him Lord Juicer. His nickname is Lord, but he got in trouble for steroids. So
he's the worst juice head in the history of juice heads.
Yeah, because he could cut to 185 pretty easily. And just for whatever reason doesn't. Modestus Bukauskas, basically with him, if you don't make him think about wrestling, he will win. He is a Euro kickboxing guy to the fullest. Wide stance, good punches, good kicks, good kicks to the body, good kicks to the head. Decently tough to take down, but if you're good enough at wrestling, you're going to get him down. See Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute completely exposed that. John Redmond, who's terrible, 5-11, knocked out Modestus also. So there's that. He got heel hooked. Modestus, to me, I'm just not sure if this guy is UFC caliber. And we're going to put him against a guy who should be fighting at 185. Like he's 6 foot even, and got plenty of muffin top on there. Also lost to Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute Kimura'd him. He got submitted by Ovin St. Peru. But the thing is that Modestus isn't going to do that. It's going to be a stand-up war. Modestus has chin issues. I think I'm going to keep it simple. Michel Olejchek by KO is my pick. If it goes to a decision, Modestus definitely can expose the gas tank of Michelle and win 2 or 3 rounds with the longer reach and with, just cage control. But I'm going to say Michelle catches him.
Well, 2 out of 3 we're going to have a disagreements on. I don't know. I think I'm just angry at old boy Michelle for not cutting weight. You know what I'm saying? And he has problems with bigger guys who can actually, like, anyone who's a real light heavyweight, he has like a problem with. You know what I mean? The problem I got with Modesta is I am kind of concerned with how tough he actually is. You know what I'm saying? Because boy Michelle, he has a lot of success with those body shots. So, yeah, I mean,
And he holds his arms real high in that traditional kickboxing stance. The body is available.
Yeah, so I could definitely see him getting a finish because I think he's definitely the tougher out of the two, Michelle. But I think Modesta, he's a big guy. He's a real light heavyweight. I think he's going to bully him around, and maybe get a finish late. Maybe probably he'll get a decision. But yeah, I'm going with old boy.
All right.
Modesta.
Going with Modestus. All right. You're just going with simply control and overall size. That's fair.
I'm going big boy on this one. Thick boy club. You know what I mean?
You got the big boy dog at plus 140. So I got the minus 175 on Olszewski. Slight money has come in on Olszewski at the odds. But yeah, I mean,
disagreement with me taking the underdog. That's about right.
Yeah, there we go. We're back to equilibrium here.
Everything's back to normal.
Exactly. And yeah, we're just cruising through this one. Good fight here. Hopefully at 170, we'll see. Between Abubakar Nurmagomedov, I think right, some cousin of that Khabib guy. I think, but I don't remember. I lose track of which Nurmagomedovs are and aren't.
I mean, they're all on the same team, right? They're part of the team. Yeah. Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, team. We're going to be favorites in our fights against pretty much everybody. So
everyone.
Just pick the dogs in the right spots, and this I think is a live dog opportunity against with Jared Gooden. Jared Gooden, the Night Train. Made his debut on short notice, I believe, against Alan Jouban. He was supposed to be fighting Dwight Grant, and then I think got a tougher opponent in Alan Jouban personally. And he really made a good showing of himself in that fight. Yeah. He hurt Jouban on several times. After the fight, Jouban looked like the loser, even if he did enough to win by MMA scoring. And yeah, just Jared Gooden. He's looked really revitalized since that absolute drubbing he took against Bruno Oliveira. It was 48 seconds or 53 seconds. I think 48 strikes he took or something.
That was an ass whooping.
Yeah, I mean, and the ref just kept it going because he was keeping himself against the cage, so he was technically standing up. But I mean, it's one of those between that and in short time he lost to Mike Graves in a Titan FC bout that was a chance for him to get into the UFC. He had those two opportunities in a row, and then he really, I think, turned it on much better, started using his full game, used some submissions, has a good guillotine. He almost got Jouban in as well. Like, I mean, his striking, he's got really long arms and good power. There's a lot I really like about Jared Gooden, only 27 years old still, 6 foot tall and fighting at 170. So it's like, there's a lot to really like about this guy. Abubakar Nurmagomedov does not fight really like Khabib at all. He stands like Khabib, standing straight up and head real high up, and it was, we're just getting a message from Jimmy. So, we'll see. I'll talk to him in a second, but he's getting on. So we'll have him for most of the main. We'll have him for the main card. Just, but yeah, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Sorry to get distracted there, but overall, I do like Jared Gooden in this fight. I think Jared Gooden's going to be able to catch Abubakar, and I think it's going to be a close fight. I don't see a finish on either side necessarily, so I just think it's about who's going to be more aggressive, more with the volume, pushing the pace forward, and I find Abubakar a little bit easy to hit, so. I'm just going to go with Jared Gooden here and take a chance. What are your thoughts?
Man, dude, I don't think it's much of a chance. I'm very confident about Jared Gooden going into this fight. I think this Nurmagomedov his hands. Like Khabib wasn't known for his hands, but he still had hands. You know what I'm saying? He could tag people. You know what I'm saying, when he had to. I mean, this guy, he's just stiff. His feet are mad stationary, and he got caught by a guillotine, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that
Gooden has a really good guillotine. Gooden has a great guillotine.
I mean, Gooden's a big, strong guy. If you're going to be shooting on him, that's going to be something that he's got long arms. Anyone with long arms is going to have a good guillotine. You know what I'm saying? And it's just I think this is. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think Jared Gooden is gonna walk him down. Maybe he gets taken down in the first round. But I think second, third round on, he's going to be putting pressure on him. He's going to, and I mean, his cardio held up really good in the Joe Ban fight, which usually isn't the case for big guys like that. Like, he was still, he was always dangerous. Even when he was hurt in that fight, he was still dangerous. So, I'm very confident about Jared getting the finish. I'm calling a second round KO.
I like it. I like it. And we've got a juicy dog here. We got the plus 175. Money has come in on him. He opened at a plus 200 underdog. I'm telling you, if his name was something not Nurmagomedov, I bet this is close to a pick'em. So it's like, again, I do not fade Nurmagomedovs usually. Umar, Usman, who's making his debut over in Bellator. I'm all over those guys. Umar is like the next bantamweight champion, in my opinion. I'm never going to probably bet against him for a long time at least. So, But this guy is one of these Nurmagomedovs is not like the other, and I kind of think he's one of them. So we see occasionally these Khabib family members that don't quite look like the rest of their family. So
I mean, listen, he is kind of like the Wish version of Khabib, you know what I'm saying? He was over on the
PFL. We don't besmirch the Wish here. Leave Wish alone. You can get like a full sex dummy for like $8.
Yeah, so leave Wish alone. Different complexion than you ordered, and
it's got like a whatever.
It's gonna be a different size.
Like, was this used?
Why does it smell like that?
Yeah, it's all sticky. But yeah.
What?
Anyways, we both agree on a dog and Jared Gooden. Yes. We are not sponsored by Fleshlight or Wish yet, but we are accepting all sponsorship inquiries. Go ahead and just DM me. I will accept them. But we're moving on. We're at the 205 division. This is a short notice replacement in Fabio Cherant taking on Alonzo Menafield. Unfortunately, we had the late pullout by William Knight due to COVID protocols, and I think William Knight already got rescheduled for another fight in like April. So he's going to be all set. Now we have just kind of a different – Alonzo's still doing the same job here, just with a newcomer where he's like, are you UFC caliber or not? Can you survive a powerful hitter who occasionally has gas issues or not? And, Fabio, he looked pretty good in his last fight against Myron Denise. Myron Denise is a really solid kickboxer as well. Doesn't have the highest level of power, definitely not like Alonzo Menafield. And the other thing is that was a good 205 test for him, and I just think that with this fight is also taking place at 205. So I'm definitely glad about that. I know that Menafield for a while there, was starting to contemplate maybe cutting, but I'm glad he didn't do that. This is it's the striker versus the grappler. And it's just not sure Fabio is going to be able to mix up the technique enough to get the fight where he needs it. I do think he's going to have to strike in order to grapple, and I'm not sure if he'll be willing to put himself into the spots he needs to. And if he does, he might get caught and put away by Menafield. So I'm not really sure. I want to bet the dog. I can't. I'm going to take Menafield, but I stopped betting Alonzo Menafield after the Devin Clark fight. I'm not betting him, but yeah.
I mean, this fight it's interesting. I think Fabio has a higher ceiling, overall ceiling than Menafield, but I like when I watch this, I kind of get the feeling that he's still trying to figure things out. You know what I mean? He's still trying to figure out, range and what he's gonna, because he's so fast and explosive with everything. And Alonzo, he kind of seems more like, he kind of is what he is as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He kind of has more of his identity. He's been in the UFC longer. He had his first, neither one of these guys have been fighting super long, but Alonzo Menifeld, he's been fighting a little bit longer. So, any little bit with all that being said,
my goodness,
he's
gonna do it, isn't he?
I know I shouldn't do it. Man. But I'm taking Fabio, man. I think Fabio. He needs this fight. You know what I'm saying?
He needed his Contender Series fight too, and he got knocked out by Stipe's boy.
But that guy's pretty freaking good, though. I think that guy.
I think Menifield would smoke Alexis Camera.
You think so?
I do.
I don't know, man. Alonzo Menifield, he's kind of
Alonzo Menifield's name.
I don't know, man.
Yo, did you see what he did to Paul Craig?
Yes.
I know, like you don't wield.
But that was a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
That was like 2 years ago. That was like sooner than Abu Azaitar fought last.
But you're talking about Abu Azaitar. You're talking. Don't listen, man. I know.
All right.
I know. I know what it sounds like.
Finish, or is it a decision for you?
It's a decision.
Okay.
It's a decision for me.
Grappling heavy.
I think Fabio's gonna grind him out. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think he knows what he's got to do.
Okay.
He knows what he's got to do.
It will be nasty, but yeah, that's fine. I accept it. It's gonna be grimy.
It's gonna be dirty, man.
We're gonna. Okay, well, you got the plus 220 underdog. I got the minus 290, and Alonzo Menifield. And speaking of, let's just get our next guest on here. The UFC flyweight contender, Mr. Jimmy the Brick. Flick got his UFC gear on. I remember back in the day talking to you when it was getting ready for your contender series fight. And we were talking about, I'm telling you, in a year from now, I'm going to be a contender. I'm going to be a UFC regular bonus winner. What's up, Jimmy? Good to have you here, man.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah. Man. Time got kind of carried away with training today, man. And, man,
you know what? You got kind of a big fight coming up in June, so it's all good. You're taking on Davidson's brother, which is how most people will call him, but it's Francisco Figueiredo, I believe.
Francisco.
Is it Francisco today?
I call him Little Fig.
So what I like to call him, I borrowed this from Zach, but we got MMA wagers. Stayed up extra late out in Canada once I said the Brick was coming on. Flick is in the house. We were just actually covering and it's good that we're talking to a former LFA veteran, although for some short periods of time, especially that last one that got you the Contender Series. But you've been to LFA, you know all about the LFA. Fabio Charant getting the late notice replacement here on short notice against Alonzo Menifield. Kind of what are your overall thoughts on this kind of grappler versus power striker matchup? And me and Bryan, we've split. So Bryan's got Fabio.
Don't break my heart. Don't break my heart, bro. Come on, man.
I of course have I got the favorite in Menifield. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Dude, it's a tough one, man, because Fabiano, we don't know what he's been doing since he won the belt. And I know what I did after I won the belt. But I know what happens when the opportunity comes knocking too. You take that opportunity. And they're fighting are they fighting at 205?
205, yes.
Because he missed weight when I fought for the LFA title. He was on the card with me. And first time at 205, and he came in at 209. And I seen him during his weight cut and stuff, so that makes me worry about this fight, him coming in on short notice, coming off of an LFA title fight. As much as I want him to win, I'm going to have to go with Minifield for sure.
Yo, yeah, Jimmy coming in, dropping the knowledge. He's like, I'm late, but here's all the knowledge I got. I'm gonna give little nuggets.
He's not tall. He's not tall.
He's missed in 2 of his past 3 fights. He's taking the shit fight on short notice. You know, might want to think about not picking with that heart. By the way, Jimmy, in case you don't know, my co-host Bryan Pooh Bear Battle MMA middleweight prospect, fellow grinder. Just he's earning his way in right now. He's going to be a fellow UFC compatriot. Hopefully, you guys are on a card one day.
I know. Well, we can wear the matching hats, you know, afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I might have a little bit of a. I should be a talent scout or something because I interviewed Jimmy before the UFC. I got Bryan before, and King Casey O'Neill also interviewed her before the UFC even contacted her. And
you need to get into matchmaking. Matchmaking, man.
The dog knows a good fighter when he sees him. So, Metafield's your official pick, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Ooh, he dropped that 100% on Bryan. Bryan is just crushed here. He's trying to hold it together, but it's okay, buddy.
It's all right.
You can message us on Saturday when you're right and we're wrong. So,
if I'm right, man, I'm making an Instagram story.
Go ahead.
Go back on YouTube and find this clip and then cut it out. I'm going to spend all the time.
Absolutely. And Jimmy, you showed up at the perfect time because we're to the main card now. So, we're happy to have you on. Jimmy the Brick Flick, as we said. I've been noticing you've become quite the pick little master lately on Instagram. I almost go to I try to avoid it, but I got to go check out your picks when I'm making my picks and hope I'm at least a little bit in line because you've been killing it, man. And I was talking to Bryan, and Bryan's been my co-host here for about a month now with this. And he's been talking about how breaking down these fights and looking into them and doing all the tape has actually helped his game himself and how he thinks about overall the fight game. Have you kind of noticed any sort of those when you kind of diving into all these different fight styles, even if you're not directly applying them, do you feel it's helping sharpen your tool, or is it just, another way to kind of unwind while keeping your head in the game, or do you notice those kind of benefits?
Oh, I mean, I think it helps out for the flyweight division for me. I mean, for everybody else, man, I'm just a fighter and I love watching people fight. And I don't always pick the people based on like who I think's better,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I might just because I like the guy,
Mm-hmm. Just a feeling. You got to use your heart. I
picked Ryan Spam. I mean, he won last week, but no matter who he fights, I'm going to pick him. We fought as an amateur together. We came up together. There's just certain fighters. Donald Cowboy Cerrone, he's one of my favorite fighters, and I'm actually fighting on the card with him, so I'm super I will always pick him to win. Frankie.
That's June 8th, right?
May 8th.
May 8th. I was going to say, I know my birthday's not on Saturday, and I'm June 15th, so I was like, duh. May 8th. Yeah, I'm skipping a whole month. But, that's going to be – May 8th is going to be here before we know it.
Saturday, man. 6 weeks out from Saturday.
I was about to say, it's about crunch time. You got to go into the big chunk of your fight camp.
Oh, yeah. We've already been bringing everybody in. I got a lot of supporters, a lot of little guys, wrestlers around here. With Francisco, though, man, he kind of switches stands. Some fights he stayed orthodox. Some fights he goes southpaw. Some fights he does both. So that's what we're working on. We got it all in the gym. We're mixing it up, and we're going to be ready for everything and hopefully, start the run after his big brother.
Yeah, there is one way to get onto the champ's radar, I would think, and it's by beating his little brother's ass. So, just go ahead and go out there and just believe you can fly as you always do, Jimmy. And we'll be here watching. Even as the flowers have gotten bigger, you haven't forgotten the little dogs here. So appreciate it, man. As always rooting for you. Let's hop into this main card here, man. We'll break it down. We still got the main event of the evening to go, the heavyweight title, which, is all I need. We got my girl Jillian fighting on the main card finally, which is always a great thing to see, a hard veteran get her due. But we start with the 155 division, and it's a good fight here, really good fight. Jamie Mullarkey The Australian at 12-4, taking on Kama Worthy, 16-7. Jamie Mullarkey is kind of where I'm going to start here. 26 years old, looks like he's like 36 years old. So I was definitely shocked when I found that out. I thought he was like 38, honestly. Like you look at, and he's just got an old face. You know, he can't control genetics. We can't all be,
his eyebrows blending with his face, man.
Yeah, and yeah, so far his UFC run not gone exactly too well. His fight with Brad Riddell was a really good fight, actually. He actually rocked Riddell on his feet a couple times, which was really impressive. But he's one of these guys who takes several shots as he comes in each of his fights so far in the UFC. Varasiam, same thing as he came in. His defense appeared to take the punches and come in. And that just, is kind of tough here with Kama Worthy. Kama Worthy has really good footwork, switches up stances really well, throws everything. He's a killer, be killed guy. 7 losses, 6, all 7. He was finished. 6 KOs and a submission. His last fight against Otman Azatar, he got starched real quick, and I had Kama Worthy in that fight. I felt really good going into that. But overall, most of his knockouts have come at the 145 division since being at the 155 division. He seems to have corrected it more. Jamie Mullarkey is not going to knock you out, with all due respect. I mean, it can always happen, I guess, but I just think that this is a spot where I like Kama to get back on track. I think that he uses a lot of leg kicks and just overall, I think kind of works Mullarkey to a decision here. I think Mullarkey's tough to get finished, but I got a decision. What are your thoughts? Jimmy, we'll end with Pooh here. So your thoughts, Jimmy, on this fight?
I'm going with Worthy. I also do a thing with Ray Longo where we do flick picks and Longo picks on with the UFC extra rounds. And this week, that's my pickup, Worthy. He was like -200. So we're going to pick him up, and that's my pick. But I think he's going to get the finish, man. He's, like you said, he's coming off that loss, and he's got a lot of power and good footwork. And I think Larkey likes to get hit a lot. And I think Worthy's going to finish him probably in the first round.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Bryan, what are your thoughts on this? Are you on the Kama train, or are you going with the Mullarkey upset?
I am all aboard the Karma train. Now, like you said, I mean, he came into the UFC short notice, fighting with a chip on his shoulder, and you don't fight with a chip on your shoulder bigger than you do like right after a loss. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to come out with a point to prove, and I think he's going to put it on Mullarkey. I got a finish. I don't have a first round finish. I think he finishes. I think he gets it done in the second round. I think he feels him out for a little bit and puts it on him in the second round.
I mean, Kama's shown throughout his career he can finish in any of the 3 rounds. And I definitely know Kama's been putting in the work. I've gotten to talk with Kama previously, really respect his approach, his overall game plan. I just think, it was a tough fight against Otman, and we don't know exactly what Otman's supplement routine is at this point, but those potatoes are definitely working. Mullarkey just has permanent bitch face, basically. He's just got a resting bitch face. It's, and
I strive to achieve that. I just want people to leave me alone. I want to be like walking.
Well, you're too friendly looking, and it's hard to trust a guy who's been knocked out 6 times. That's fair, but it's also just you got to go with the matchup here, and to bet on or think Mullarkey is going to come out and starch a guy, that would be the first time in his career he's done that. So I mean, it can always happen with those little gloves on. I get it. Everybody hits hard, but I think we're all on agreement here, and I'm liking these odds. Kama Worthy is the slight favorite at -125. That's essentially pick'em odds against Jamie Mullarkey. I really think that overall he should be able to really school him. He's a more athletic guy too, and more experienced, fought better competition. Checks all the boxes for me as a close favorite. I think he's one of my favorite bets on the card. This is a pretty challenging card too, so I think you got to take where you trust the read, and I trust my read with Kama Worthy here. All due respect to Mullarkey, But yeah, I got Kama Worthy. We are in agreement on the first fight of the main card. We'll see moving forward. This next fight, I will make no secrets. I will pick this fighter 10 out of 10 times, including against Valentina Shevchenko. She is my girl. It's Jillian Robertson. It's Savage Week for a reason. I'm just going to kind of save my breakdown because it's not really going to help anybody here. And I totally accept if you want to go ahead and pick Miranda, I accept that because I really respect Miranda as well. My heart is invested in this. It's Jillian Robertson. She's getting the rear naked choke. And I just think that you don't lose to Deanna Bennett within the last couple years and step up to the level of a Jillian Robertson. I think that Miranda Maverick going from a Lilian Jojua to Jillian Robertson, I think there's levels to this. I know Jillian and Miranda have met and been around each other on the grappling circuit. They've had a couple grappling tournaments they were supposed to be set up in where one person or the other didn't make it to their part in the tournament, and I'll just leave it at that. So, you know, I'm biased here. Savage, I do a podcast called The Savage Sessions. Literally, like, you know, it's like I'm not the person to ask.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like, I'll be honest, but more times than not, I've been right. And, you know, I don't think that Miranda Maverick is ready for this yet. So I got the experience in grappler of Jillian. Throat cuddles all day.
I'm going with Maverick, man. She's aggressive. She comes forward, man, and she's exciting. I like her. I follow her on social media. And, I mean, she's got the possibility to be the next big thing in the female division. I do like Roberts as well. She fought on that last card with me as well. I pulled the flying triangle off. She tried the flying armbar.
She did. I think you inspired her, man. I think it got in her head. She was like, yo, that flying.
She almost hit it, too. She almost hit it.
She had it, man.
On the rear naked choke. If she does win, I agree. That's how it is. She gets the back, gets the rear naked choke. But I'm picking up Maverick by the decision.
That's fair. I get it. You know, Miranda also does have some pretty serious takedown defense issues that she's shown in a few of her fights. And it's just, that's what, if Jillian gets her down to the ground in 2 of the 3 rounds, she's going to win. Her top control game is in the top 3 all-time percentages. Yeah, I know every single Jillian stat. Go ahead and make fun of me. But, you know, it's like 62% of the time when it's on the ground, she's got top control time. And it's just like, that's like, I think it's like Mark Coleman and like one other person who like isn't even in the UFC, and that's it. But yeah, I get it. I do think that the volume and aggressiveness would be Miranda's route to victory here, for sure. Bryan, break the tie here, and
man,
are you breaking my heart or not?
You're gonna figure out soon enough, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let the suspense build a little bit, man. And I gotta be honest, like I was looking at this and I had no idea who to pick. Like I was like, after watching
with the stats here.
MMA
I swear I'm not MMA wagers. My hands are up.
He's just your burner account. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, yo, put these Jillian stats up now.
But yeah, I mean, what it comes down to for me is
I can just keep going. Sorry.
Well, all these stats are important because that's what it comes down to for me is like Jillian's experience versus Maverick's experience. You know what I mean? I trust Jillian a little bit more just based off the level of competition she's gone against and the performances she's put on against those chicks. So I'm going with the Savage on this one. I'm going with the Savage. You know what I mean?
Man, this is, you know, these are just, I'm just going to go through these one more time. It's a lot to keep track of. And yeah, so we got 2 Savage by submission, I assume, or are you going with a decision?
Oh, by submission, of course.
Yeah, I think submission. That, yeah.
If you're picking her by submission, right?
I mean, that would be the way I would think. I do think that striking wise is where Miranda has the advantage. Grappling and wrestling, it's Jillian. This is, in all seriousness, a really great fight between 2 prospects in the 125 division, 25 and 23 years old. Neither girl should be going anywhere after this fight. And I'm really pumped that they were able to reschedule this after the pullout about a month ago due to some, you know, kind of food poisoning related issues. It was not COVID. And so, yeah, I'm glad they could reset this one up, and I'm looking forward to it. We go to the odds, and Jillian is the dog. Jillian's won as a favorite in 3 of her 5 UFC wins, and we got dog money on the 9-fight UFC veteran plus 140 versus a minus 175 for Maverick. So the price is the money has come in on Miranda so far, just slightly, but opened as a minus 160. I think this is a really tremendous fight, and it sucks what happened with Volkanovski and Ortega. I'm looking forward to seeing them match it up in the summer, but I am excited to see Jillian on a main card for the second time in her career. So she's paid her dues and she deserves to be there. So looking forward to it. But there will be tears either way. Hopefully they're happy tears. I'm drying off as we get into the Sean O'Malley, Thomas Almeida fight. I'm very interested in this one. The rest of the fights on this card are the whole main card for me is completely fascinating. I think it's more than worth it still with the late scratch off. And this fight is one of the reasons why I'm really excited for this one. Sean O'Malley undefeated at 12-1 after his loss to Chito Vera. Still, he's playing it though, man. He is playing the villain.
He is mentally undefeated, man. Mentally undefeated.
You know what? Shouldn't everybody? Aren't we all? I'm mentally yeah, Jimmy. I'm on with 2 undefeated MMA fighters in Jimmy Brickflick and Bryan Battle. Don't Google or look up on Tapology. No losses have happened here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Those losses are fake.
Yeah, exactly. Fake losses. So mentally undefeated Sean O'Malley. He's playing the game though, man. He's getting people to tune in, whether they want to see him win or lose. They're watching, and I honestly know. Of course, I cashed out on Marlon Chito Vera, man. Come on now, you already know. That was as legit a win as possible for me. With O'Malley, all seriousness, very very legit stand-up guy. His stand-up fighter, not a stand-up guy, obviously. Good stand-up fighter. One of the best, I think, outside kind of games in the lower divisions, especially. His shots are so straight, honestly, and when he's able to fight at his range, at his comfort, he's really good. However, MMA is not fought at one range or one comfort, and when he gets the pace pushed on him, when he gets the pressure put on him, when he gets leg kicks landed on him, he's shown in 2 fights now that they seriously affect him. Andrei Sukuntov should have beaten him. Andrei Sukuntov no longer in the UFC. But he decided to take him down when he was down 2-0 for some reason.
Take him down when he had one leg. Why are you shooting?
Coach, guys. I get you guys have coaches that you've worked with for years and years. But if your opponent can't stand, do not fucking take them down. Back up and make them stand up. Just say, walk towards me. He literally could not walk, and he took him down, and it was the only way he could win the fight. But, yeah, that's neither here nor there. This fight is against Thomas
Matchmaker. Tells you who you pick on the bets. Coach. Let's go. Let's go. Many hats. Let's go.
If it has MMA in it, I'm in it. But Thomas Almeida has, to say gone through a rough stretch would be putting it lightly. 4 of his last 5 fights have not gone his way. He's been finished in 2 of those 3. His only win being over Albert Morales, who I'm not exactly too familiar with, but it's just one of these things that Thomas Almeida, he was undefeated prospect for a while, looked really good. And then as he fights these kind of new level MMA, new era MMA guys, the Cody Garbrandts of the world, even, the Rob Fonts, Jimmy Rivera's, the Jonathan Martinez, these guys who mix in the footwork, really the more intricate game plans, his kind of straight kind of angles, and he just fights that kind of shudo box style Brazilian Muay Thai. I'm going forward, just hooks, and doesn't throw a ton of leg kicks. I just don't know if he has the sophisticated enough game plan to kind of get through O'Malley's striking in this one, because I don't think O'Malley's going to mix it up. He never really does. And I just don't know if Almeida is going to mix it up. He doesn't throw a lot of leg kicks in his fights. That is the key, though. So I would hope that's what he was practicing, training leading into this fight. If I see Almeida come out and throw some leg kicks, I'm feeling good, and maybe leaning his way. As of now, I just think that I'm going to go with O'Malley to get back on track. This kind of seems like the type of guy who the UFC, I get it. It's tougher with the higher promotions for the promoter to get the result he wants out of the fight. With LFA, a lot of times we can see who the promoter wants with the LFA fight, and often it goes that way. UFC, not as much that way, but in this case, I'm going O'Malley KO. I'm going to be boring. I wanted to shock the world. Pick Almeida, leg kicks, save his UFC, but I just don't think it happens for him. So I got O'Malley. I got him for the finish in first 2 rounds.
I agree 100%, man. It's going to be something flashy. I think Almeida gets hit a lot. It gets hit easy. And O'Malley's huge at 135. And like you said, if you ain't kicking his legs, he's going to have a blast in there. He's going to have fun. He's going to enjoy himself. So I'm saying O'Malley, knockout, something flashy.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, I want to pick Almeida with the leg kicks just to fucking get something. You know what I mean? But dude, no, I don't see. And it's one of those things where I feel like O'Malley is smart enough to realize he needs to work on doing something about those kicks, those low calf kicks. And yeah, man, Almeida has shown a suspect chin. I mean, granted, he's been fighting the best guys in his division, but
definitely. O'Malley's one of those guys. As much as we don't like,
this is a setup. I know this is a setup fight for O'Malley. I think O'Malley's gonna knock this out of the ballpark.
Yeah, and that's gonna be 4 straight 4 of 5 losses for Almeida. He's gonna have to go back to LFA or somewhere else and get a couple wins, which I don't think would be the worst thing in the world for him. I think this is one of those where he just got a little bit ahead of himself by a few wins over some older veterans like a Brad Pickett and these guys who were still pretty elevated when he beat him. And then but either way,
I mean, but you see that all the time in MMA. Like some phenom gets off to a hot start, and then they take 1 L, and then it's just all downhill from there. All that momentum's gone.
We're about to see what happens with Joaquin Buckley as he comes back from adversity. Several others, and it's just Chaos Williams. A lot of these guys who really enter with Kama Worthy was another one who really came bursting onto the scene. So either way, O'Malley minus 350 favorite. Don't like it, but you can cut it down with the KO. I think that is worth the bet. Right now, if you have FanDuel, it's one of the FanDuel boosts, by the way. You can get a O'Malley KO for a plus 330 on FanDuel right now. So if you have FanDuel, go ahead and try that one out because I think that is a FanDuel one worth putting down. But other than that, I expect it to be a pretty stand-up fight for O'Malley. And if that's the case, O'Malley should be able to rock this one. We're to the co-main event. This one is a fascinating one. I have been back and forth on this one. And I think I've come to my decision. Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque at 170. So this is believe it or not, former in the conversation for greatest welterweight of all time.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley.
How quick things change.
Once upon a time, 3 fights ago, even when he blanked Darren Till. Yeah, Darren Till threw no strikes for whatever reason, and then he got that Darce choke. He got his black belt. He was on top of the world. We were like, "Yo, let's get GSP in here. Let's figure out who the real GOAT is at welterweight." Then Kamaru Usman happened. Then Gilbert Burns happened, and then Colby Covington happened, and he quit against Colby Covington, or he got hurt. He got hurt, but he was done in the 5th round.
I mean, he was getting whooped in that fight.
And here's the thing with Tyron. He hasn't just lost his last 3 fights. He's lost every minute of every round of 15 rounds now. But it's with the 3 best guys in the world. So that's the other thing. Vicente Luque isn't 1 step down from these guys. He's not 2 steps down. He's not on the same staircase as these guys. Vicente Luque is as second rate as they come. And even if Tyron Woodley is a bottom rate, first rate, Tyron Woodley is always going to be first rate, in my opinion. And I do think that the thing is, with how Tyron fights, he's not going to win a decision. So it's like, I have to, in order to bet Tyron Woodley, I have to believe that he is woken up and he's going to come forward and throw. He's not shown that for the last 75 minutes of fighting. 75 minutes. That is a long time to show me. And it's like he did some shitty Netflix movie, Cutthroat City or whatever. He's still coming out with his rap music, like TMZ shit. Like, it's just, he's not going to learn. You know, I can't pick Tyron, man. I cannot. I'm picking the second rate, and I mean this with all due respect, but it's not much respect, I guess. Second rate Vicente Luque, man. And I don't like this pick at all, especially the odds. I'm not touching this one with a bet unless I'm betting Tyron Woodley, which I cannot convince myself to do. The odds are absurd, though, for Vicente Luque. They should not be where they are at, period. And I can see more than 3 or 4. I can see 3 or 4 times Tyron coming out and starching him within the first round, because Vicente takes a lot of shots, and it's just, I'm not crazy here, but I got Luque very unconfidently, especially on the odds. Jimmy, your thoughts?
Hey, man, I like what you said. He's fought 3 of the best fighters in the world at 170.
Yes, the best.
That know how to wrestle. That know how to wrestle. Luque don't know how to wrestle.
Not at all.
Not gonna wrestle him at all. I'm going Tyron Woodley by knockout. I think this is for Tyron to get back, and I'm pretty sure Tyron by knockout is going to be like plus 500, if not.
Yo, it's going to be huge. That's an absolute. That is the bet,
dude. It is, man, and I see it happening. This is the perfect fight. Like, either he's back or he's done, and I think he. That I don't think he's done training quite like he's done before, but he don't have to worry about the wrestling. And I think without him having to worry about the wrestling, it's going to open up his power more, and I think he's going to get the knockout.
Yeah, I just didn't have the balls. I did not have the balls.
That's the hot take of the day, man. That's the hot take right there, man.
Dude, there we go. Jimmy's coming in hot right off the bat with the inside information on weights. You know, we're gonna have to have Jimmy on more often here. You always you're always got an open invite here. But Bryan, what's your thoughts on this? I think we're gonna be on the same page here. But has Jimmy converted you?
Dude. No, Tyron's done, son. I'm sorry, he's done, son. Like, I love Tyron. Like, I wanted him to beat Kobe's ass so bad, dude. But dude, it's like when you start making rap music, and like you said,
these are great. This Tyron is all. None of this Tyron's been here the last 3 fights. Just
yeah, I mean, because.
But it's still impressive, that takedown defense. Still at 80. But it's Vicente Luque is not taking him down to win.
He's not taking him down, and I think Vicente's a tough kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, has he been knocked out before? I don't think he's been knocked out.
It's been a long time. He was knocked out, but he was knocked out early on by somebody. I want to say not Bryan Bar. I'll go ahead. I know he was knocked out once, but go ahead.
No, he knocked out Bryan Barberina. I remember that. He was getting his ass whooped up before he knocked out Bryan.
Yeah,
he was getting his ass whooped.
He was getting his ass whooped.
And he got the 3rd round. He finished Bryan in the 3rd because Bryan got tired from whooping his ass.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. That's why I thought he finished him, because he was bombing on him.
He was whooping his ass.
Bad Barberina. Bad Barberina. The worst bag in the UFC.
Oh my God, man. Is he out of the UFC right now?
Well, no. I think he's got an injury he's dealing with.
Okay.
But yeah, Luque has not lost by KO. So
okay.
Subbed twice.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean
that could be interesting. That could be an interesting thing if Tyron decided to actually wrestle for the first time in. I guess since Darren Till, but
we've been waiting for that for a while.
Oh man,
we've got hopes that Almeida leg kicks. We've got hopes that Woodley wrestles. These are things that don't happen in 2021, sir. We're hoping for things that aren't occurring.
That's what I was saying. Like, Tyron should win.
If he doesn't fight like he normally does, he can win. Well, what if he fights like he does?
then it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like but I think this is like one of those things where this is like the easiest way for Tyron to make money. You know what I'm saying? He can't make this much money doing anything else.
No one's buying his albums. Have you heard In and Out of Love?
I don't want to hear.
Oh my God! I'll DM it to you after this.
No.
You'll be blocking me. Yeah, Luke.
Have you heard him sing the cowboy song?
No.
Dude, he's got honestly tour in it as well, talking about the Old Town Road, dude. Oh, no. It's actually, dude, I thought it was pretty good, dude. I mean,
oh boy! Don't say
he start going in. He start going in. I haven't listened to Tyron Woodley rap yet, so I don't know. I have no opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, Tyron
tour in there, man.
What I do have to say about Tyron is that I love Dean Thomas. Dean is a legend. Dean still being willing to work with Tyron does tell me Tyron's, in all seriousness, still invested in this game. I do not think Dean would be still working with him if that wasn't the case. And, I do think that as comfortable as he was at one point, I think he's less comfortable at this point. He's had 3 less win bonuses, less attention, less probably endorsement deals, and less opportunities overall that maybe motivate him a little more. So you've got Luque as well. You've got a decision, or do you have a finish, Brian?
Oh, I got decision. Everyone decisions. I think he's just gonna have more volume. I think that's what it's gonna come down to.
All right. Yeah, and I actually also do have the decision for Luque. We are on a -250 favorite though. This is where I'm just like, I think that's nuts. I think that is the craziest price of the night. Woodley at a +200. I would love to, and +4, +500 at a KO. I would love to be on that side of the bet, frankly.
I mean, that doesn't really, it makes a lot of sense just to take that bet just for the shits and giggles of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Woodley, this is Zach, not me, who wrote this. Hope for a one-punch KO, one punch inside the distance puts it. I think we see Woodley gets KO'd bad. Really? Okay. Well,
that's second hot take in one fight.
Yeah, I mean, Zach is up late, so maybe it's the late, getting to him a little bit.
I don't know. If Gilbert Burns didn't knock out Tyron Woodley, I don't think Vince Luque is knocking him out.
I mean, Luque looked really good against Randy Brown, but this is not Randy Brown. And, again, I just think, this is a little bit of an overreaction from the bookmakers in these odds prices. We'll talk about our next fight, how bookmakers really don't know a lot. Hey, we're getting there, Jay. We're about to get to the main event. Let's go ahead and get into the main event. We're going to talk about the whole thing. They did have their face-off today. Ngannou in his fresh Congolese garb, and Stipe looking like a guy from Cleveland, wearing white guy Cleveland clothes, with his nice haircut. I
mean, this man's a dad now. He's a dad now.
Yeah, he's dad Stipe. There's no bad guy in this main event, though. These are two of the best guys in the sport, just from a example standpoint, from a role model standpoint. I forget that you're like an actual grown up. I have no kids here. I have a dog, and that's my responsibility. But yeah, Stipe and Francis, just two tremendous guys. They had a really good fight a couple years ago. Stipe kind of cracked the code though on Francis, and I don't know, man. I don't feel much has changed here. I think it's the same. It's still the same wrestling advantage for Stipe, same cardio advantage, same overall MMA advantage, experience. And it's like with Francis, it's like, I don't care how much they show him doing proper 1-2s and everything. That's not how he fights in there. So I don't really care if he goes and works with Dewey Cooper, I'm just not super impressed with from what I've seen of him with a lot of his fighters. Dewey Cooper took over a lot of Kevin Lee's training after I'm blanking on his Robert Bowles, was that his coach? I'm blanking on his coach's name.
His coach that passed.
Yeah, the coach, Robert Fulton. I'm totally blanking on the name, but anyways, his coach that passed after that, he went with Dewey Cooper, and that's when we kind of saw Kevin Lee really lose a little bit of his edge. He did knock out Gregor Gillespie, though, so there's that.
I mean, that's a big-ass knockout, though.
That was a huge knockout. And I was at that. I could hear it from the upper deck, that slap. That was nasty. But, and I'm going to be in the crowd next month in Jackson. Cannot wait to be back in the crowd. Cannot wait. But focus, Aaron. We're almost to the end of this breakdown. This is how I get at the end of every breakdown. But I don't see much has changed. I get that Ngannou has gone and starched a bunch of guys. Like, he just runs forward and windmills it. And, it's like Jairzinho Rosenstrike was doing the right thing till he wasn't. And then, he just got hit with one of those hammers. And that can happen against anybody. But I think Francis has 2 rounds where he does that, and then this turns into Stipe's fight completely. And I think Stipe knows what to do. Stipe takes a lot of time off in between fights to make sure he's ready, both physically and mentally. And I just think that the odds makers continue to underestimate him. He's been an underdog so many damn times. That's just like a theme for a lot of these champions right now. We got Jan Blachowicz, sorry, because people can't take a joke when I call Jan. They get upset in the comments, and then I have to.
They got heated that one time.
He was like, I heard Jan. I stopped listening. It's like, I'm kidding. I break down 20 hours of tape a week. I know Jan's name, but Jan was an underdog in 9 of his last 10 wins. Jimmy, underdog on the fucking Contender Series against a 6-0 dude.
Got him.
Yeah, it's just keep giving me. When Bryan makes it to the UFC, he's going to be an underdog too. And
man, let me be a second underdog.
I love when my friends are underdogs. It's more money for me. So, it's like I got Stipe here. I got the same. It's going to be the same thing as before, man. And now, Stipe's the best heavyweight of all time already. He's cementing it here. And I just think Ngannou, he's fought. He's got a bunch of first-round knockouts. He can get one here, and then it's like, okay, I was wrong. But I do think Stipe is smart enough, good enough to get out of the way of these shots, especially early when it's the most dangerous. And it's the same. It's still the same attributes, and that's why when I look at the odds, I don't understand. I just don't get it, at all. I just think that people fall in love with the sexy pick. They want the hype pick. Ngannou's the hype pick, but I'm going with the smart pick. It's Stipe, decision, 5-round decision. We're going to be seeing Ngannou's belly button again. That belly button popped all the way out by the 5th round. It was all the way. He was another level of exhaustion. We're about to see his outie again. So, Jimmy, your thoughts?
Hey, man, I will agree with you and kind of disagree. All
right. Tell me about it.
I believe it's Stipe all the way, but I think he's changed so much, and he's going to get the finish. He's going to pound, and he's going to grind on him. And what a lot of people don't realize, too, this fight is going to happen with no fans. When you got 2 boys like that in that little Apex arena where I've fought multiple times already, correct, he's going to hear how big his shots are. He's going to hear the sound when he's punching him. Just like he's going to feel and hear the movement of Francis's big ass moving around. Dude, the sound and the echo in that building, it will change for these heavyweight fighters. And I think it does. And I think that's going to help Stipe a lot. He's going to wear him down, and he's going to punch on him. You're going to hear the sound. You're going to hear the echo, and he's not going to stop. And I think he's going to TKO him in the 4th.
Yo, I love that pick. And Stipe also has a ton of experience with rematches in the UFC. Each of his rematches, he's ended up finishing. He's looked completely better. He does revitalize his game. I also think, Jay said here a second ago, this out of shape comment, I do think that Francis is looking like a little bit of extra thickness on there. And he's no longer training with Cyril Gane, which I don't think that's actually really that great. That was one of my favorite aspects of Ngannou, was having that legit heavyweight training partner. He's now at Extreme Couture, where he's trying to work on the wrestling, I assume, but we'll see. I love the finish pick. I'm betting Stipe straight up because he's an underdog, but I might have to think about the overall method more. Bryan, what are your thoughts on And we just got statistics up the ass from wagers here, man.
Hey, look at this. It's Wakanda forever, man. This is Wakanda forever.
We got our Ngannou here.
You got your Ngannou here, man. Someone has to take him, and I'm doing it, damn it.
Someone does.
But listen, man, dude, he got his ass whooped in the first fight. And someone like Stipe, obviously he was still shell shocked from that fight when he fought Derek Lewis in his next fight, and he's kind of fucking got his head screwed on straight. And I would have really liked to see, how his conditionings looked, going into a third round, but he hasn't even gotten past the 2-minute mark in his last 5 fights. One of those being one of my favorite.
He's fighting Arlovsky. He's fighting a JDS. He fought Kane, but Kane never even wrestled even a little bit. He slipped on a banana peel after getting punched in the head. So it's like, we haven't seen that wrestling tested. We haven't seen that overall MMA game tested. The only person who did was Stipe, who passed with flying colors. So it's, it's just I get picking Ngannou. I just don't get how he's the favorite. I don't get that.
It's disrespectful for sure, but it's one of those weird things where it's like Stipe's definitely not been a favorite enough times, and he's just kept on shocking people over and over and over again. But
is it because of how he talks and because he's like, oh, I know, I shouldn't even be, because he's as a self-deprecating.
He's still a firefighter, man. You know what I'm saying?
Which is amazing.
He's
where are your thoughts, Jimmy? I see you want to get in here.
Well, that's like if we would have had Derek Lewis as the favorite against Curtis Blades. Yes,
I'm saying.
But
and Stipe is much better than Curtis Blades.
Yes, so you're gonna say that puncher and average just because he looks meaner and he's all beefed up and he's knocked out some people?
No, it's not even that, man. Here's what I'm saying, man. Here's what I'm saying. He's putting people to sleep in the first round. Here's what I'm betting, that he's at Extreme Couture working on his wrestling. That's what I'm betting on right now. And
that's a risky bet, man. That's a risky bet.
Listen, man, it's like
Shields in there working on his jiu-jitsu.
Jay is just going in on fat ass Ngannou right now. I didn't think he looked this fat, but Jay apparently thinks this guy's got diabetes. He's got a chopped off foot. God damn, Jay. You must be a stud behind that keyboard. Jay must be shredded behind that keyboard.
Man, he really does not want Francis to
win. Francis is fat, bro.
He does not want Francis to win this fight. And you know what?
Dude, he censored himself from shit. Thank you for, keeping yourself censored there. He's like, I have class. He's fat.
He's like, I'll fat shame him, but I'll do it safe for work. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man.
This is basically what you're saying, is that he's got that power X factor, so you can't count him out.
I'm saying he's absolutely steamrolled everybody he's gone against. You know what I'm saying? Stipe isn't getting younger. You know what I'm saying? He put on an all-time classic in his last couple fights. Going back to Ngannou. I mean, we can skip the first DC fight. You know what I'm saying? The second match in the trilogy fight, he put on a classic performance. But, I mean, Francis heavyweight might be scarier than DC is right now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a 40-plus-year-old DC. I guess Ngannou's old as hell, too.
Ngannou has one of those where he says he's one age, but we don't really, know.
He was like,
we like maybe know, but maybe if like all of a sudden, he says he's 34, but this is like from his UFC debut.
I know. He could be.
He might be 42. We don't know.
It could be like one of those little Cuban things. You know what I'm saying? He could be 54.
Romero is like 77.
Like, do we have a copy of this man's birth certificate? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, Jay deciding to go in on the age now. Yes, only 4 years apart, allegedly. Jay is just like, good Lord, do not let Ngannou find your comments, Jay.
But yeah, I'm picking.
Pick, Bryan.
I am taking Ngannou by knockout.
Round 1?
Round 2.
Ooh, round 2. You might as well bet that because you're going to get that like plus 450.
All right.
the round one prop on Ngannou. This is insane. The round one prop on Ngannou is only plus 200. Like they're literally like he's winning in round one. Betting any other round, like you're making huge bank. So round two is but I think that it's an interesting pick. I'm more fascinated by the fact that Ngannou is the favorite.
If Stipe puts it on him and just like smothers him the whole time, I wouldn't be surprised either. You know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't be surprised if he got smothered the whole time. But fucking let's go, fucking Ngannou.
Yeah, I like this hedge honestly. Money line on Stipe and then just bang the under 1.5 because like that. Because here's the thing: the under 1.5 is going to be juiced pretty well. And you're covering if Stipe ends up somehow starching Ngannou in the first round. Ngannou only wins in the first 7.5 minutes of this fight. If that doesn't happen, you got the money line on Stipe. So you take a little bit of your profit off the top, but you're still making a profit, and it's a safe bet that you could end up doubling if Stipe does what he really, really doubles up. But again, like I've said, Ngannou's the favorite. It's a minus 140 favorite. I just don't get it. Plus 120 on Stipe. I'm taking it all day long. The best heavyweight of all time. He's defended the belt 5 times, I believe, or 6 times. I don't even know at this point. And I just think that these guys are the same guys. I just think if he can't land on Stipe in the first 2 rounds, he's gassing out. Jay is correct. Jay is completely right. He's been up and down here, but yeah, I love the dog. I just think that the MMA bettors, they love their hype, they love their flash, and you can really take advantage of that in the right spots. And getting Stipe as a dog, I'm taking it all day long. 4 of the last 5 main events have been won by underdogs. It's about to be 5 of 6, I think.
Oh, here we go.
So,
here we go.
I'm just saying, Brunson made me look smart last week. Felt good about it. I feel good about this again this week. So, before we take off, because, I do have to catch a flight in like 5 hours. So, going to get a little bit of sleep here. Jimmy, where can everybody find you? You got anything you need to plug? Just go ahead. Floor is yours.
You can follow me on Instagram at The Brick MMA. Follow me on Facebook at Jimmy the Brick Flick, my fan page. My fan page is all out of friend requests. Got like 500 of those things. I can't even okay them no more. So trying to get a
shot.
Fan page.
Big shot. Let's go.
Follow me on Twitter at Jimmy Flick as well, and shout out to all my sponsors for the support. I be plugging them all the time. I ain't got my paperwork here, or I'd have all 30 of them to name out. So, but I appreciate all the support. And
Jimmy, did you know this?
What's that?
Do you know you're minus 265 favorite already?
Yeah, that's what they said, man, and that's actually a little high. Honestly, in my opinion.
God damn, man. I'm used to you being dude, the secret is fucking out. Thanks a lot, flying ass triangle. I hope you're happy. Man. I hope you're happy. That's what flying triangles will do. I was enjoying getting you as a dog, bro.
Like the way the matchup is, and you look at the way Francis come out of his first fight as a decision, and he took his opponent down. I think he's gonna have a little different game plan against me. But I have the same game plan, and that's the finish.
Yeah, dude, that's the problem. Everybody's here's what people are starting to hope with Jimmy. They're like, I hope Jimmy mixes up his game plan for the next fight and doesn't just cycle through 10 submissions and just like, this is not fun, man. Talk about some different directions as we see what Ray Rodriguez has done since your guys' fight. Talk about how things can change from, but this is why I've said, and you get to hear my line that makes everybody roll their eyes. Losses are a requirement of MMA. I've said it to Bryan. I've said it to you. It's easy for my ass to say it, never getting punched or choked or anything ever. But I truly believe what you do with the losses is really, really telling. Jay just wants to know, are you at The Brick MMA on Twitter?
On Twitter, it's Jimmy Flick, just at Jimmy Flick.
At Jimmy Flick, yep. And then, so of the year, we'll do that, definitely. And then, we're going to have to start propping Jimmy because we can't just bet him straight up at that price. We got to make that money. But, Jimmy, seriously, man, coming on with us. I know you're in the height of your fight camp. I know you're going late, and that is all good. We're always happy to have you on in all seriousness. And I look forward to chatting with you a little bit, leading up to your fight. And we're going to be breaking down many more fight cards, I hope, in the future. You fit right in with us. And we hope you had a great time. Jay did, you have the honor of having J Squad add you on Twitter. So now put that on the bio, bro. Right next to Flying Triangle, I got J Squad, the most famous Ngannou hater in the world. Don't gain weight, bro. Don't gain weight because he will call your ass fat.
I can see me after the fight, then, dude.
Yeah,
I feel that, man. After the weigh-in, what do you mean?
Absolutely. Bryan, where can everybody find you?
You already know. Get your pen and paper out. Pooh _bear _battle 68 on Instagram.
Not one underscore, 2 underscores, baby.
No, listen, man. The more underscores,
do I have to hit the shift when I do that, or do I just press the button? Like, what the fuck? What's an underscore?
An underscore is apparently what you need to get a name on Instagram. Goddamn it! All the names
there's
taken.
Too many
bullshit
battles out there,
dude. You'd be surprised, man. I thought I'd be the only one, but apparently not, man. And then Bryan Pooh Bear Battle on Facebook. I am on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter at the same time. Like, you can find me on there. But my activity level,
fighters, how they use Twitter, it's hilarious. You don't know they have a Twitter till the week of their fights when all like the articles come out. They just retweet them all. I'm like, Jillian's fighting this week. It's like the rest of the time. It's like, it's all good. Stay away from the cesspool. I'm at Aaron the Dog Guy on Instagram. Hopefully soon I'll be separating my business page from my MMA podcast page because I keep having clients who are like, hey, is this your dog page? I'm like, yeah, I just do MMA podcasts a lot too. And like, it's hard to explain. So trying to separate those. But either way, Aaron Jay Brooks on Twitter, if you'd like to follow there, and you'll get a bunch of movie recommendations because I do a movie podcast too. So I'm busy, this past year of not having my dog walking business in order. I decided to start doing podcasts all the time. So MMA, movies, and dogs. That's the life of Aaron the Dog. But enough about me. Hour 27 breakdown will do. Thank you all for joining. Next week on Coffee and KOs, we will have a full breakdown of the light heavyweight Grand Prix tournament for Bellator. Myself and Boston Comments. Bunny will be back to do that. I will be back with the Coffee and KO boys for the recap show right after the fights, live as always on Saturday night as well. So join us then. But for Aaron the Dog, for Jimmy the Brick Flick, for Bryan Pooh Bear Battle, we are out. Have a great night and keep taking care of each other out there, everybody. Peace out and thank you for joining us. And we